Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the Extreme Z battle that has been added in for the EZA of the AGL Turles unit. So we're going to be taking a look at the Explosive Evolution Turles Extreme Z battle. So obviously this is a pretty nice Extreme Z Awakening. I think it's actually a really good Extreme Z Awakening. It's a big buff for a lot of teams as well. Terrifying Conquerors, Pure Saiyans, there's just plenty of teams that get a big buff from this. So Super Tech and low class warrior enemies are going to be super effective here. We're going to be completing the entire event free to play, meaning we're only going to be using the Team Bardock team, and we're going to be using the greatest warrior Goku. You will receive 1 stone for every single stage. You will also receive some Grand Eldic Highs of the AGL type, and Turles' Extreme Z Awakening looks pretty good, I want to say. He's a movie boss's 170% lead, which is obviously really solid, becoming an extreme type sub lead as well. Then he has attack and defense of 150%, which is really solid. Gives all allies Ki +3 and attack of 40%. He gives all allies defense of 40% when there's a super class enemy, which is really good. And he debuffs super class enemies as well. He also has the ability to transform, which is really solid. And he also has the ability to stun, which is really good. His transformation now also is actually really useful. So his transformation before was kind of worse than his base form in a sense, because you lost the support. But now instead of that, you retain support, you retain the key support, and you get an additional defense of 100% when there is a super class enemy. You also stack attack and defense as well. So transforming into Turles is actually pretty good. It's now not a loss for your team. And before, people wanted the attack support. But yeah, obviously I think Turles is great now. I think they did an awesome job, and yeah, there are some missions mainly to do with time limits and obviously completing the stages with a low class warriors team. But yeah, for the most part you shouldn't really have that big an issue. There is a low class warriors lead in the form of the AGL Bardock, and there is obviously a low class Pure Saiyans lead, or a Pure Saiyans lead that is a low class warrior in the form of the physical Raditz that just came out. You don't need either of them. You can literally complete this event with only free to play units, and you can complete this event literally with just using a friend 59% Goku. So you don't need to worry about using like Team Bardock as your lead or anything. I personally prefer running the Tora as a lead, because that is 77%, and then I use a friend of the highest lead I can get, whether that's a Pure Saiyans AGL Vegeta or a AGL Bardock, or whether that's whatever unit I can get my hands on. Basically that's what I do. It's generally where I get the best outcome, I want to say. So for me, that is generally what I plan on doing. But yeah, it's just going to depend on yourself, and it's going to depend on what you think is going to be like the best for you. If you don't have the Team Bardock team, then try and grab them. They come out every single day, so you can pick up one each and every single day. This EZA is not going anywhere super soon, so you shouldn't really have like a major issue. But of course, I think it is just super important that you just basically remain calm and keep grinding. The biggest thing about this is that it is a bit of a grind. Unfortunately, there's not that many great leads out there. A lot of people aren't setting Bardock as a lead yet. When I was taking on the challenge, I will be setting Bardock as my lead, just to help as many people out as possible. But yeah, I will be doing that. Hopefully it helps you guys out. All those of you who have friends, set them to Bardock. I think Bardock is the best friend lead. Alternatively, set it to Raditz if you do have Raditz. He's also incredibly good as well. In fact, Raditz is a better lead, just because he obviously supports Space Traveling Warriors and Pure Saiyans as well. So you'll actually be running under a higher lead because the Team Bardock units are also on Space Traveling Warriors. So that's obviously really, really good and does really help out a lot of people. But yeah, for the most part, I think you shouldn't really struggle with this. It might take a little bit slow, but if you've got the Team Bardock units, you are basically sorted. The only thing I would refrain from doing is taking a friend lead that isn't a low class warrior. So even rather take the 59% physical Goku, like the 59% greatest warrior lead Goku as a friend than like taking the AGL like Vegeta. It'll work in the beginning, but generally speaking, I just think it's better to take that Goku, because the only way you're really going to take a lot of damage is if you have a non-low class warrior that gets hit by a super attack, or by normals. They will just generally take quite a bit of damage. So yeah, that's the only thing really I can suggest, especially if they don't fit under your lead. If you obviously have Raditz or something, then yeah, you could probably run just a normal Pure Saiyans lead, I guess. But yeah, up till this point, stage 10 is pretty straightforward. You generally have a pretty decent time. You can still seal Turles, so that makes life a lot easier. And yeah, just generally speaking, the Team Bardock team runs more than fine. Try and understand how the Team Bardock team works. Obviously, all of my units are Easy Aid. As you guys know, Team Bardock recently got their Easy A as well. So super new players might struggle with this. Generally, if you are going to struggle with this, there are some other pickups you can do. So if you can't run the Team Bardock team, you can run, like I said, a team under Raditz. There's a lot of good Gokus that are also on low class warriors as well. So there are some decent ones you can pick up. It's just going to depend on your box and what you've got. And there are some decent summonable ones as well. But generally speaking, I think the best policy is to go with the free-to-play Team Bardock units. And that's just what I consider to be the best overall. So yeah, obviously at stage 20, things are a little bit different. So at this point, things will get a bit tougher. Strength falls off, so you can no longer use strength units really to be super effective in terms of damaging Turles. You also don't have the sealing ability as well, which is a little bit of a hindrance. It's not like a huge issue, but it does cause some problems. The Bardock does alright. Obviously, because I'm running Tora, I am running all the units at a slightly lower lead, because I'm only using a 77% lead. Ideally, I'd want to use my own Bardock and then use a friend Bardock or a friend Raditz, and then easily just cover both sides, and I'd be running at a much higher lead. Goku would be doing a lot more damage. Everyone would just be doing more damage overall. But yeah, I'm trying to show that you can do this without having Bardock or without having Raditz. And yeah, I think you do just as fine with these guys. Like you do just as fine with the free-to-play units. It's obviously still a bit of a hindrance. It doesn't technically work as well, but I do think you generally just have as good a time. At least from me. It takes a little bit slower, but it's very risk-free. You don't have that many hindrances on your team, and most of them tank more than fine. I think I take a super on Fasha at literally the worst time, and I think it still all runs perfectly fine. So yeah, at the final stage, obviously super strength is off the table, but all the other typings are still up there as being effective, which is obviously great. We're gonna have a Bardock as our friend lead, which is great because it's gonna make things go at a decent pace for this final section. We've managed to finish all the missions on time as well, so we're not really struggling too much. And yeah, everything seems to be running fine. So this is obviously the final stage. You can definitely farm this stage, I think, if you have a low class warriors or a Raditz as a lead, and you'll be able to make some pretty decent bank off of this. Obviously, just a reminder that there is the title. Remember, you get a title now every time you clear an Extreme Z battle up to floor 77, I believe. So if you are looking at farming titles, then yeah, you can definitely farm this one. I'm sure, you know, I'm sure you can get that title, I guess, if it does mean anything to you. Something just as a heads up, obviously, I think it remains to be said, but if you are going to be doing this, just make sure that you can obviously Dokkan Awaken Turles. You should be able to if you can complete this event. But yeah, make sure that you have Turles and that you can Dokkan Awaken him before you even consider doing this event, and vice versa. If you are thinking of buying Turles with coins, rather make sure that you can complete this event before you buy Turles with coins. It's not going to be nearly as useful without coins as he would be with, he's not going to be nearly as useful in his purchase without his EZA as he would be with his EZA. So if you can't Extreme Z Awaken him, then there's very little point in doing so, or in buying him, I should say. So yeah, but generally speaking, everything goes fine. Bardock takes like no damage here because obviously he's got his full damage reduction active as well. So yeah, for the most part, everything went more than fine. I think it's a relatively easy Extreme Z battle because of the fact that so many players have the Team Bardock team as an option. I think it's really not the biggest hindrance of an Extreme Z battle, and I think for the most part it's pretty easy for most people. So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the Extreme Z battle. And yeah, that is the final stage. So you will see in my missions, which we'll go through now. Obviously I managed to complete all of the missions. I completed all of them with this exact team as well, so you don't really need to worry too much about that. And yeah, nice bunch of stones as well. But that's going to be it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, and bye.